updated job growth numbers from the U.S. Labor Department indicate a weaker American economy than previously thought. In business, the Dow up 200, S&P up 18, and the Nasdaq ahead 80. AccuWeather says warmer with sunshine today with a high of 77. We've got 74 degrees at 3:31. The news continues now. Chicago public school officials encouraging families worried about more ICE agents on the streets to keep sending their students to school. WBBM's Nancy Hardy tells us the district is offering tips on how to navigate the way there and back.
CPS says school is the safest place for students to be. It does not have plans for remote learning at this time. The district recommends parents have an emergency contact on file at their school if no one picks up their child, and says it's working on updating those numbers. And Lace, a nonprofit working in Little Village, hosted a virtual workshop this morning to educate people on their rights in case they're stopped. CPS encourages families to walk in groups, try to use safe passage routes to school, and to share their plans with others. Nancy Hardy, News Radio 105.9 WBBM. Mayor Johnson's administration is hinting that more speed and light cameras may be on the way. WBBM political editor Jeff McCullough has the details.
We've heard the complaints for years from drivers about Chicago's network of speed and red light cameras being nothing more than a money grab for the city. But at the beginning of mid-year budget hearings here at City Hall, Chicago Comptroller Michael Belsky told aldermen that the money generated by those cameras is holding steady.
Speeding camera tickets, while trending steady year over year, are showing declines due to change driver behavior.
In other words, you're all slowing down for the cameras. Belsky says current city ordinances limit those cameras to streets near schools and parks. And he says the administration is working with alders on a potential expansion.
Maybe putting speed cameras in other locations in the city. I think it's something we should do because it's demonstrated that safety is improved.
Which means those cameras could be watching you on even more streets. We're at City Hall. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
In Indiana, Governor Mike Braun asking for a waiver from a federal program that he believes is discriminatory.
The governor says Indiana has become the first state to request a waiver from federal requirements to implement race and gender-conscious components of the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. This concerns federally assisted highway construction contracts. The governor is quoted in a press release as saying he's a firm believer in offering equal opportunity for all to compete and succeed. A statement from Attorney General Todd Rokita says forcing the Department of Transportation to prioritize contractors based on race or gender is unconstitutional and undermines fair competition. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
3:33 now. Looks like the economy could be on shakier ground than prior thought. The government has released a preliminary annual revision to job growth between April of 2024 and March of this year. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger tells us the figures indicate there were 911,000 fewer jobs than originally reported.
In the previous year, the annual revision amounted to about 600,000 fewer jobs. In 2023, there was about 185,000 jobs. This is a preliminary estimate of that 12-month period. The final will be released in February, but this is going to add fuel to the fire about doubts around the veracity of the information released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
The Labor Department issues these so-called benchmark revisions every year. They're intended to better account for new businesses and also those that have gone out of business. And the White House now denying that a document released by the House Oversight Committee of a birthday message to convicted Jeffrey Epstein was done by President Trump. Here's White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
This one includes a picture of Donald Trump, of Jeffrey Epstein, holding a large novelty check that says that Epstein is joking about selling a fully depreciated woman to Donald Trump for $22,000.
The material was included as part of a 2003 album compiled for alleged sex trafficker Epstein's birthday. Overseas, Israel launched a strike targeting Hamas leadership in Qatar as they considered a U.S. plan for a ceasefire in Gaza. Military consultant Jeff McCausland says Israel had a goal in mind with the attack.
Bring the war to a close on terms that they find appropriate, and that is the Netanyahu government has talked about the total and complete destruction of Hamas. And that is what they are pursuing. They're pursuing that on the ground in Gaza with the siege of Gaza City, if you will, and now seeking it as well in the destruction of the political leadership there in Qatar.
Officials say the U.S. had advanced knowledge of the Israeli strike. Meantime, Russia may be facing new sanctions.
U.S. and European officials have been meeting at the Treasury Department to discuss economic pressure on Russia to end its war on Ukraine. A person familiar with the matter tells AP discussions included new sanctions and tariffs on Russian oil. On Sunday, President Trump said he would talk with Russian President Vladimir Putin soon.
The Russia-Ukraine situation, we're going to get it done. I have confidence we're going to get it done.
But that source tells AP U.S. officials emphasized in the Monday evening meeting President Trump's willingness to take significant actions to end the war and expecting full cooperation from the Europeans. The officials are to meet again Tuesday. Trump's latest deadline for the Kremlin to end its invasion has passed. I'm Ben Thomas.
Coming up in a minute, low gas prices, traffic, and weather together. It is 3:36.
When it comes to selling a home, it can be hard to know who you can trust. At Grandview Homes, our reputation is built on doing what we promise. No surprises, just an honest offer to buy your home. Get your no-obligation offer at GrandviewHomes.com today.
You probably wish your home had more space, but making that happen could be a real challenge and a little scary. Until now. At Normandy Remodeling, our team of designers, architects, and construction experts make it easy to uncover the hidden possibilities in your home. It all starts with a conversation. Whether that involves expanding or reconfiguring your current space, Normandy will work with you to fashion practical, personalized designs. We'll be with you every step of the way to make every aspect of your project run smoothly. Normandy handles it all, from design through construction. And you'll have the peace of mind that you get from a fixed price contract, so you'll know how much your project will cost before you sign on the dotted line. Visit NormandyRemodeling.com to set up a time to talk about your home addition or major renovation and open a whole new world of possibilities. That's NormandyRemodeling.com. Your home made better.
Now, the lowest gas prices from News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Sponsored by PackyWebFord.com. Right now, while supplies last, save over $15,000 on select new Ford F-150 models. For details and to find yours, visit PackyWebFord.com. Buffalo Grove, the Woodmans on Deerfield and U.S. Route 45 is gas for $3.29. In Vernon Hills, the Phillips 66 on Milwaukee and Georgetown has gas for $3.29 as well. Coming up in 2 minutes.
This is Haley Hansen. Hollywood Casino Joliet, which opened a month ago, is already generating tons of revenue.
That story's coming up, but first it's 3:38. Traffic sponsored by Consumers Credit Union. Here's Neil Fiorito.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of traffic getting to the outbound Kennedy via Ontario Street because of a crash on the ramp getting to the outbound side of the Kennedy. That ramp really loaded up, so in through downtown, a lot of delays just trying to get to the Kennedy from the Ontario feeder. Again, once you get to it, you're heavy all the way to Belmont Avenue, and then from the junction to Harlem, it's 44 to Montrose, 9 you save in the Express, an hour drive to the airport, and 43 in. 290 going out the Eisenhower. Brake lights from the Janeburn interchange and before Western. Multi-vehicle crash there, the left center lane blocked. 43 to Manheim, an hour 3 to the Jane Addams. It's 55 in. Now the Stevenson is packed on the inbound side. From 355 to County Line Road, you have a crash there in the right lane. Appreciate the call from Jim on the WBBM Mercedes-Benz of Hoffman Estates traffic tip line at 855-780 Road. So again, the Stevenson inbound with a crash, County Line Road in the right lane. 55 to drive in for the Veterans Tollway. It's 58 to drive outbound. Looking at the tollways, I-88, the Ronald Reagan eastbound, some brake lights from 83 to the southbound Tri-State ramp. There's a crash on that ramp. It's blocking the right lane. We have a crash, it looks like, on I-80 on the westbound side in Humboldt. Traffic is stop and go now from Briggs over to the scene. And then further east on 8094 in northwest Indiana. Pretty jammed up traffic westbound from 65 to before Kennedy Avenue. Stalled semi there. The right center lane is blocked with it. Traffic sponsored by Consumers Credit Union. Traffic and weather can be unpredictable, but one thing's for sure, Consumers Credit Union always has your back. When you get low fees, great rates, and a whole team of people that really care, it's a beautiful day. Consumers Credit Union, the people in your corner. Your next report, 3:48 on News Radio 105.9 WBBM. WBBM AccuWeather, sunshine and some clouds through the rest of this afternoon. It will be warmer with a high of 77. Tonight, not as cool as the past couple of nights under a partly cloudy sky, low 54 in some western suburbs to 61 at the lakefront. Still warm tomorrow. In fact, warmer than today with some sunshine, high up to 82. A lot of sunshine by Thursday, high again, about 82 degrees. 74 right now at O'Hare. It's 77 at Midway, 74 in Vernon Hills, 72 at the lakefront. We're going up to 77. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson.
341, the new Hollywood Casino Joliet is off to a good financial start.
Illinois Gaming Board data shows that Hollywood Casino Joliet jumped up to 5th among the state's 17 casinos, with nearly $11.2 million in adjusted gross receipts during 23 days of operation in August. The $185 million facility generated more revenue in 3 weeks than its predecessor Riverboat did in any full month over the past 5 years. Data shows more than 101,000 people have already visited Joliet's new casino. Haley Hansen, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
There's a problem with license plates in California. California is running out of options for license plate numbers. The state estimates the sequencing equation adopted 45 years ago, a number followed by 3 letters, will hit 9ZZZ999 by the end of this year. And there's no going back. California plates stay with the car for its lifetime, and alphanumeric combos are not reused. The solution? The state is planning to invert the sequence to the format, which is expected to last at least another year or 2. Speeding things up, car buyers rushing to get ahead of new tariffs. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News. We'll check in on your top trending stories and your day in sports coming up. It's 3:42.
WBBM News Radio takes you deeper into Chicago's football team with the new Gridiron Report. In a few short minutes, Josh, Liz, and Rick Craig deliver quick insights and supersized reporting. Monday mornings at 6:45 and 9:45, and Friday afternoons at 4:45. Hear straight from players and coaches. Get the latest on matchups and injuries, and keep your fantasy roster sharp. No fat, quick, smart, and everything you need all season long. The Gridiron Report, exclusively on News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
At Certain Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CSLB numbers are 837-312-881-317.
For many of us, it's happening. Your hair is thinning, your crown's disappearing. Maybe your hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. Well, I've got good news. It's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts regrowing your own natural hair.
SportsCenter.com.
A family in Wales came home to quite the surprise after leaving their golden retriever at home with a dog sitter while they went on vacation for 2 weeks. The dog had 14 puppies when they were gone. They knew the golden named Tilly was pregnant, but didn't expect her to deliver anytime soon. A litter of 14 puppies is a new local record, but it's far from the 25 needed to break the Guinness World Record. And a 66-year-old retired accountant is now the oldest member of the Louisiana State University marching band. The man says he's always wanted to march with the university, but wasn't able to make it happen in his 20s. So 4 decades later, he went back to school, auditions, and made the cut. He plays the tuba. He played the tuba as a child also, but had to relearn it to join the band. I saw that too.
As a retiree, he joined the marching band at LSU.
That was super cool.
Yes.
3:46, time for sports, sponsored by the 2026 President's Cup. And from the score, here's Mike Esposito.
It's time for film study for the Bears. They try to regroup after last night's disappointing loss to the Vikings, as Rick Gregg reports.
They're watching tape both of the first 3 quarters when the Bears built a 17-6 lead, and of the fourth quarter where Grady Jarrett and company allowed 21 unanswered points.
Obviously, when you're dealing with tough losses, so many lessons in it, so a lot of things to learn, get better from. We've seen some things that we did well and things we can get better at, so that's what I, see. It's just the positives and the hurt, and I think there's a lot of things to learn from, but we definitely got to close out the game when we have the opportunity.
And they have to stop committing penalties, a dozen of them last night for more than 120 yards, keeping the Vikings alive and blowing their own chances in the process. Covering the Bears, Rick Gregg, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Next up for the Bears, Sunday at Detroit. And long expected and finally official, the Bulls and guard Josh Giddey ran a 4-year, $100 million contract. To baseball, can Kate Horton play stopper for the Cubs tonight? They need him to do so, as they lost the 3rd in a row to the Braves last night. Horton is 9-4. Spencer Strider goes for the Braves. You can listen to the game at 6:15 on our sister station, 670 The Score. The White Sox hope to keep up their winning ways after a nice road trip. They've won 6 of their last 7. They open a homestand against Tampa tonight. 6:40 first pitch with Andres Gomez against former Sox Adrian Hauser. Sky play at Las Vegas this evening. A few other NFL notes. The Giants are sticking with Russell Wilson at QB despite his poor play in their loss to Washington. And the 49ers have placed tight end George Kittle on injured reserve with a hamstring injury and waived kicker Jake Moody. With sports at 16:46, I'm 670 The Score's Mike Esposito on News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
All right, Mike, thank you. 3:48 now. Traffic sponsored by Toyota on Edens. How are the roads, Neil?
Well, traffic really heavy in northwest Indiana. Let's start there on the westbound side from 65 to before Kennedy Avenue. We have a stalled semi there blocking a lane. Looks like it's out of the way now, so you're moving a little bit better. Crash cleared on I-80 westbound at Briggs. Still really heavy, though, from Richards. On the tollways, the Ronald Reagan eastbound heavy traffic past York to the southbound Tri-State ramp. A crash on that ramp. The Stevenson coming inbound, stop and go from 355 to County Line Road. Crash in the right lane. 55 in for the Veterans Tollway. 20 minutes in from the Tri-State. Headed out to 294, 49 minutes. An hour 3 to 355. Crash on the Eisenhower outbound before Western. Multiple